Alright guys, sorry about the delays. Welcome back. We've got Naitsirc versus Slinx. Probably wait till it loads in to introduce it fully. Oh, I would have had cool colours. I would have had Naitsirc as green and Slinx as red, I think. Anyways, that's irrelevant now. We're here. Game 2 of the semi-final here between Naitsirc and Slinx. Naitsirc is the red trunks Roman player at the top side of the map. Slinx is a blue trunks Egyptian player. It's almost like a right angle on the map, this hill here. Hills on oasis don't seem to make a huge amount of sense. They spawn sort of roughly off to the sides of the players, but they're rarely mirrored. There's usually weird little cliffs around. So none at that top side. So I think we're going to see a very early barracks oriented game. Naitsirc, no! You need more wood still. Naitsirc, you need more wood. No! So Slinx is just going to go for the standard barracks timing. Already has the wood to produce it. Switching to the hunt, putting all his villagers on it to start with. Start queuing up those spearmen already. So Naitsirc, he needs more wood if he's going to... He's interrupted his wood gathering. He's not going to bother going all the way to 200 wood. Which I think is really risky. Particularly... Like, he's got 8 food gatherers right now. He needs to have a barracks. He gathered the starting wood, which you'd only do if you're going to go barracks, or you're going to go hunting dogs and another storehouse, which he hasn't done either of. He's just going to sit here and float food. I think Naitsirc's idea is he can go for a quick age up, which might be what he's trying to do here. But at the same time, he needs to start getting on the stone, get on the wood line. Oversaturating this to try and get through spears early on, it sort of can work, but you still need to get loom before you age up, I think. Actually, he's just going to abandon this for the time being. This may actually work out for him. Although he needs more... He needs gatherers back on the stone as well, and he is going to have to switch off these trees, because this isn't going to be enough to produce a town centre with. There's only the 3 there. And we've got a lot of spears coming in here. So the first villager is going to get picked off. He hasn't gone loom before the age up here, so he's going to lose a villager or 2 for free here, Naitsirc. This is... I hate to say that, but this is really not how you want to approach the early game at the moment. Because you can't get on the other hunt safely either. He's going to have to go on the berries, he's going to have to saturate the wood line and the stone, and then just hope that Slinx isn't just massing up infantry instead of going for an age up. So I think Slinx actually will go for the age up here. Plenty of food in the bank. And try and dive, but Spearmen aren't as good as Spara in this situation. Spearmen are better than Spara in actual fights, but they're not as good at pushing under the town centre because they don't have that insane pierce armor. So Slinx, just making sure he knows where Naitsirc's other hunt is, and that Naitsirc's not on it. Naitsirc, he's going to age. Ooh, he's going for a proxy barracks here. This is an interesting choice. He can push as soon as he's got 2, I think, or maybe 3. Probably need 3 to fight the spears, but you want to push ASAP and get as much damage as you can done. Particularly if you're already sort of behind with the proxy. This is probably not the map to do this style of play on. Just because you do get pushed at home and you take damage that slows down your ability to mount this. So then it's just not as impactful when you do go in. But Slinx is still age 1. He's just trying to make sure he's got the resources for the town center when he goes to age 2. So he's going to start the Temple of Ra now. Naitsirc really needs to engage though. Like he's got the legionaries. If he can dive that hunt now, Slinx has got a bit of food still though. At least if you can put the pressure on, Slinx is forced to have to either come home or just commit with this and do something with it, because otherwise it's just dead population here. So you can kind of use proxies to force your opponent's hand, but at the same time you need to be able to get value somehow out of it. So Naitsirc's going for the engagement. Slinx is trying to find a way onto the Temple of Ra here, so this is delaying this quite significantly, but he wants to focus the villagers at all costs here. He doesn't want to focus down the buildings. Because if you can snipe a couple of vills here, even if the age up does finish, Naitsirc needs to make sure he maintains production through this, because I mean it's sort of choked up Slinx at the moment. He's been trying to get the age up out just so he can get Axeman out, and he's population capped at the moment. He's going to lose a couple of villagers, so 20 vills to 21. Naitsirc's actually pulling ahead in terms of villager count at the moment, but he can't afford a quick second town center like Slinx can at the moment. And Slinx trying to get Naitsirc to just dance with him there, which really hurts Naitsirc more than it hurts him. Slinx a few idlers up to the top here at the moment, but he's got plenty of food in the bank. So Naitsirc's going to try and go for the villagers now, which might have actually alerted Slinx to their inactivity there, because he's so busy trying to concentrate on making sure he doesn't throw away this army against the legionaries. So Naitsirc still just getting out. The legionaries got double barracks at the moment. So Egypt and Roman are both factions that you can't produce any early game bowmen on. So you really need to go to age 3 to deal with these guys with anything other than having, you know, just raw numbers more axemen. Praetorium Nexus is also really good because Slinx is committing to a second barracks now. He's going to be a while off getting his stables out as well. Because bearing in mind, like, Slinx is committed 600 resources and 2 minutes of build time to get this finished. So Naitsirc, he was up by like 1 villager at one stage there. Now he's starting to slip behind on vills, but at the same time, Slinx, things haven't really paid themselves off yet for that. And the spears, well, they really only sort of paid off their value by pushing Naitsirc off that hunt. So Naitsirc, if he can get 2 Decurions out here relatively quickly, it's really tough for Slinx, provided that Naitsirc can kill the spears ASAP with his legionaries, because the axemen aren't great against Decurions. This is sort of good for Slinx in a way, moving as far away from the proxy as he can. Like, Naitsirc's got to try and circle the whole base to get to him. It's probably better to go for these berries than it is for this hunt, just because of where this proxy is right now. Man, I like this. Naitsirc's really found a way to make this an entertaining game to cast. Oh, he really needs to get that Decurion out. If he can push with 1 or 2 of those before Slinx gets the stables out, it's just a really weird position to be in as Egypt, and it makes them one of the easiest civs to try and win this rush against. Babylonian's another one. Come on, I'm rooting for Slinx here. I'm rooting for Naitsirc here. I hate to actually cheer for someone that's not in my clan against someone that is, but I just want to see Naitsirc do well. Populations are locked up at the moment. Well, this is a good idea. So he's got a villager there. He needs to engage with everything though. He doesn't want to lose this Decurion for very little here. The barracks is going to fall though, so this puts a bit of pressure on Slinx at the moment. Naitsirc needs to get another Decurion or two in the mix here, so he hasn't got any in queue at the moment. He's got the double Legionary production still popping. Slinx forced to make a couple of barracks. Through sheer numbers, Slinx might be able to defend this. So I think Naitsirc really needed another Decurion or two there, because I think he's got a lot of Legionaries in the queue, but he doesn't have any Decurions, and he can afford to get them out. So I think if he had have pushed with just a little bit more stuff here, he would have been in a great spot, but Slinx is able to clean that up. He loses a barracks, loses a villager or two, but he's got that double vill production. He's still 5 villagers up, and now Naitsirc trails on both eco and army, which is not the situation he wants to find himself in. He doesn't want these guys actually traveling in, because that's just free damage. He's losing those guys for free there. But look at this, like there's enough resources there to also be training Decurions, and possibly even get another barracks out at this stage. Oh, he's got to keep maintaining houses for population space, I suppose. So I think that could have been a lot messier for Slinx than what it ended up being. Just because Naitsirc, when he initially pushed in here and got on those berries, got those 2 villages, he wasn't aware about these guys up here. If he had pivoted this army over here and then pulled these guys out, Slinx would be sort of forced back to have everyone on these berries. And Naitsirc gets map control, doesn't really lose any army. He can sort of wait till he gets to 4 or 5 Decurions and just re-push. But yeah, the rough part is Naitsirc hasn't really kept an eye on where Slinx is sort of getting outside of his base with everything yet. I think that probably could have made the proxy a lot more viable than what it ended up being. This is nice for Naitsirc to start with, because he is going to engage with only half of Slinx's army. Get a free kill there. Slinx finally getting a stable, so he doesn't have to actually produce any spears. Naitsirc is pushing again. This is a good idea. He's always... I do like this about his play. He's always finding an opportunity to engage. Slinx is preoccupied with dealing with the army somewhere. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Have a bit of, you know, multi-pronged aggression. Get a villager or 2 here. Oh, the Decurion is eventually going to fall. At the same time, this is great for Naitsirc. He's denying a lot of resources. He knows about where that market is. Naitsirc does need to make sure he's still producing villagers though, because right now Slinx is really pulling ahead on him on that front. The stable's going to fall, so it's going to mean these Decurions are going to be great tanks. But the early market there, Naitsirc's going to want to try and deal with that. He's managed to slip some units in here. He should be able to get that villager. And it is good that he is getting these vill kills, but he does need to make sure he's still producing at home, that he's not throwing away big chunks of the army, because right now Slinx is starting to pull ahead in terms of overall population. He is still moving out the map. You know, even if you're proxying, it's sort of hard when you proxy behind your opponent's base, because he can just sort of creep towards you on the map. So Naitsirc pushing once again. I'm not sure if he's going to have enough here to actually stop and fight this though, with all the town centre harassed. But in saying that, Slinx is going to lose the market. The caravan he has invested in is not going to really be of any great value once the market goes down, so it'll be a fairly big investment of, what, 300, and then another, what, 170 resource, so 470, plus another, yeah, 170. So that market investment for Slinx really hasn't paid off at the moment. Naitsirc has actually sort of used that opportunity to get himself back into the game. Applying a bit of good map pressure here, but he doesn't want to chase too far here. Though he does have Decurions in the mix here, against only half of Slinx's army, so if he can back out as this part arrives... He's still proving to be a bit of a pest at home for for Slinx right now. Slinx mounting his first bit of real aggression we've seen since Age 1 here. It's a good catch because Naitsirc doesn't really have anything at home to defend this, and doesn't really have much in the way of food gathering other than what was going on there. So this is sort of the downside of these proxy strats, is you leave yourself relatively open the moment your opponent's got room to move out on you. Like I said, I do think there was a couple of spots here where Naitsirc could have made it a little bit more of an economical investment early on. He could still even go the proxy, but he's got a lot of idlers here. What's he... Oh, he's trying to go for the quick second town center. Well, quick, I mean, build the town center as quickly as he can, with as many vills as he can. But Slinx is now at the stage where he can start getting some chariots in the mix. He didn't really even need to field any camels there. Didn't have a huge amount of spears, but Naitsirc, after a point, never really caught up on army. And now the chariots are going to make this a really devastating comp, because there's no real backline here for the Roman player yet. And like Egyptian, a good ranged backline is really only available once you're in Age 3 for the Romans. You do get access to the slingers, but they're really only 2 counter ranged units. Don't really have a great role as just generalist damage or being a backline counter to something. Something melee, sorry I should say. And Naitsirc struggling to maintain production here. Meanwhile, Slinx is building 2 or 3 chariots at a time. Legionaries would be solid against most other things the Egyptian can field right now, but the fact that Slinx has started to really add these chariots means that Naitsirc needs to get Age 3 to get Bowman. Or he needs to basically have Decurion cap. So this could be it here. Slinx is really starting to find his footing with his Age 3 comp. Moving out now. Naitsirc set himself up really defensively. It's going to be hard for Slinx to close out the game at the moment, but at the same time I think he does have enough. The Axemen do have champion. Meanwhile, the Legionaries have no upgrades at all. So it's a bit of a bloodbath now. These upgraded axes with their splash damage, their bonus health, backline support. Slinx looks like he'll be going through to the final, and there's Naitsirc still trying to harass him, but there's just not enough left. GG. Slinx takes the series 2-0, guys. And I do think there was an opportunity Naitsirc could have actually closed that out, but Slinx held on there.